This incident occurred on April 18, 2011. The initial run, we were dispatched at 02:59 hours or 2:59 in the morning to 4352 Virginia. We were dispatched for a cutting. The initial run was for cutting. Sergeant Mitchell, whenever we have these types of incidents, it's our protocol that we send a supervisor along with the officers to the scene of this particular incident. Sergeant Mitchell was at the District 5 Police Station, heard the run, came out, was dispatched on it, left District 5 Police Station, came down Ludlow and through Northside, responding over to Virginia for this incident. He arrived at the scene, and he was met by Mr. Jason Weller. Mr. Weller indicated that two individuals had entered his apartment. One individual had brandished a knife. During that confrontation, Mr. Weller apparently grabbed at the knife as Mr. Hebert was attempting to stab him with it, and in fact cut his hand pretty severely with it. Okay, let me make something real clear. I'm not here. Just a second, please. Just a second, please.
Can you tell us this is what he was saying?
This is what is allegedly being reported to us. I'm not here to try to change your mind about anything. I'm not here to try to persuade you that this is right and this is wrong. We are in what we call the fact-finding stages. These are the facts that we've accumulated, that we've found, and these are what we have documented.
How did it take you over a month? How did it take you over a month to figure out that the cop had his hand slashed?
The cop did not have his hand.
Are you talking about John?
I'm talking about Mr. Weller.
Okay.
Why would you the killing if you've been stabbed?
Sergeant Mitchell, I'll go through this one more time. Sergeant Mitchell was at District 5. We were dispatched to 4352 Virginia Avenue for a cutting. Sergeant Mitchell responded from District 5 to Virginia Avenue. When he arrived, Mr. Weller was in the apartment. Mr. Weller indicated there had been a confrontation inside the apartment and that two individuals, one male, one female, were involved. He was cut in his hand, Mr. Weller was cut in his hand, and he claimed, and it was his claim, that he felt that the two had attempted to rob him. The officers, yes ma'am. Mr. Weller's statement to us is that Mr. Hebert brandished the knife, and Mr. Weller attempted to grab the knife, and in that confrontation was stabbed in the hand as a result, yes. I'll go back to my original statement. I'm just trying to relay the facts as we know them to you. This initiated a follow-up call for an ambulance and assistance. Mr. Weller initially refused any additional medical assistance at that point in time, stated that the two parties were there in the apartment. They were known to each other. He was wearing what I call a motorcycle wallet. It's a wallet with a chain that comes across the front. He indicated that he was cut not only in his hand but in an attempt robbery. The chain and on his wallet was cut as well. The officers, as they were being notified via communications of this, changed it from a cutting offense to a robbery offense. So this was broadcast over our communications. At approximately, well, let me back up just a second. Sergeant Mitchell, as he was leaving the District 5 Police Station and responding through Northside over to the Virginia Avenue address, had seen two individuals, a male and a female, as they were walking along Virginia. Sergeant Mitchell continued on to the run to make sure that the run was being handled correctly and to stabilize that. When he got there and got this initial information from Mr. Weller, broadcast was made. Sergeant Mitchell immediately responded back, left the area, got into his car, and responded back to to stop the two individuals. This is where it gets
Can I ask a question? It's clear that on his message he was highly intoxicated on something. He was wearing, if someone calls you up and says, someone tried to rob me because rob my feet and I was high on crack, are you guys going to put him out on burglary or whatever else if the person is clearly high and there's some question as to what their relationship or responsibility is? Because I didn't hear you say anything about his condition.
Well, I didn't say anything about his condition because, quite frankly, I'm not sure what his condition was. I know that he was. No, it is. It is very important to the investigation. I did listen to his call. Can you just let me finish one at a time? I'll be happy to answer your questions for you. The fact that a person is intoxicated doesn't change the fact, or may possibly be intoxicated, doesn't change the fact that they have a right as a citizen to report a crime, and an aggravated robbery or a cutting, either one, are very serious offenses that we take very seriously. So the protocol that the officers have followed to that point is what we train. That's the way we train.
Okay, so he doesn't go into the credibility of whether the police officer pursues.
This is an initial response. So again, we get into all that, but we would not get into that at that particular point in time. That would come down the road when there was a follow-up being conducted by an investigator or a detective who might come back to that scene and do a follow-up with the individual. Certainly would address that, but this is an initial run. And on an initial run, we take the information as it's given, and we're working with what we have at that particular time. We know now, for instance, after we went and conducted some investigation, that the three folks involved in this incident all knew each other. We know now, after the incident occurred, and with a month's worth of investigation, that they were friends. And in fact, Mr. Hebert was described as kind of a person that lived in different locations and was actually entertaining the thought of maybe living there with Mr. Weller. We didn't know that at the time. We didn't know the three people at the time. And so they made the run. Person's claiming that he was robbed, stabbed. We broadcast the information. That person was robbed and stabbed. We didn't conduct the investigation first and then do that. This is a work in progress, if you will.
Yeah, I don't buy that because I know when I run the police runs that it's always intoxicated to try to work through it and try to figure out something more than just accepting whatever they said. And go, oh, okay, let's go find somebody and pick them up for robbing and shooting.
Well, I appreciate that, and I'm not here to convince you of anything. I'm just here to relay the facts that I know to you.
Although they appear to be incomplete, because you're not relating back that we know as a community that it seemed like they somehow was playing in. She seemed to walk over and so he goes, that adds to the question of what is the report? Does it have a goal for it? Is there an endpoint? And that's really what we want to know. Is this an open and honest investigation? And you're not telling us major things or just asking.
What haven't I told you?
You didn't say anything about him being intoxicated or anything.
I don't know if he was intoxicated or if he was drinking. I know that he.
You guys did this investigation and you didn't pick that up.
I don't understand what you want me to say.
The tape?
Yes.
He was trash. I mean, that's what I'm saying. If you guys didn't bother looking at that tells me.
Well, we did. We did look at that. And I guess if we didn't respond, we'd be here and you'd be asking me why you didn't respond to a request for a call for service.
No, I mean, we're asking you to do a complete investigation.
Well, we have.
And when you're giving me a presentation that glosses over something that seems that.
Remember when I first, and I don't want to be confrontational. Remember when I first started, I told you that I'm limited in what I can actually relate to you until this investigation is completed by the coroners and we actually have the coroner's report. I'm limited in some of this stuff. I can give you an overview, which I'm trying to do.
What is the coroner's report going to do? Is the person still alive that made the call that led to the... How's that going to change your...
It doesn't. Okay. I'm sorry, I kind of lost my train of thought here. At any rate, he refused to go to the hospital. Mr. Weller refused to go to the hospital. Sergeant Mitchell responded back, and at approximately 03:12 hours, again, excuse my artwork. This is 1833 Chase. This is the sidewalk area in front of 1833 Chase. If you're not familiar with this location, there's an elevated platform there. The house is up on the